now.
Ma'am, I need to see some identification.
I'm sorry, what's this about?
We got a call, someone matching your description.
My papers? I work here. I'm the pharmacist.
I still need ID and proof you belong here.
I haven't done anything wrong. I know my rights.
You're making this difficult. Show me your ID, now.
Morrison looked her up and down. Okay, sure. I still need to see ID and proof you're allowed to be here. Officer, I haven't done anything wrong. I don't have to show you anything. You're making this difficult. Show me your ID, now. No, I know my rights. Officer Morrison had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 17 minutes, he would arrest a woman in her own pharmacy. He would force his way into a restricted medical area, and he would destroy his entire career. The woman he thought was suspicious was Dr. Vanessa Mitchell. She was a licensed pharmacist with 15 years of experience. She was born and raised in Houston, Texas. She had graduated top of her class, and she knew the Fourth Amendment better than most lawyers. 8 security cameras were recording. His body camera was on, and every second of this encounter would cost his department $15.9 million. Before I continue, have you ever been stopped or questioned just because of how you look? Tell me in the comments. Officer Morrison had no idea who he was talking to. Dr. Vanessa Mitchell grew up in Houston, Texas. Her mother was a nurse. Her father was a high school teacher. They taught her to work hard and stand up for herself. She went to Texas Southern University. She studied pharmacy. She graduated at the top of her class with a doctorate degree. That is the highest degree you can get in her field. For 15 years, she served her community as a pharmacist. She started in Houston, then she moved to Phoenix for a better opportunity. Hayes Pharmacy hired her as their lead pharmacist. She ran the whole operation. But her work went beyond the counter. She gave free health screenings at local churches. She mentored young pharmacy students. She volunteered with the NAACP to fight for civil rights. Everyone in the neighborhood knew her. Patients drove from miles away just to see her. She remembered their names. She remembered their medications. She cared about each person who walked through that door. Dr. Mitchell was also a single mother of 2 children. She worked long hours to give them a good life. Now here is what makes this even more important. On this Wednesday afternoon, Dr. Mitchell was just doing her job, helping patients, like she had done for 15 years. She had no idea her life was about to change forever. Officer Blake Morrison had a pattern, and it was not a good one. He was 34 years old. He had been with the Phoenix Police Department for 6 years. In that time, 4 citizens had filed complaints against him. All 4 complaints involved minorities. The first complaint came from a Latino man. Morrison stopped him for what he called suspicious walking. The man was just going to the grocery store. The second complaint came from a black teenager. Morrison detained him for matching a description. The description was just a young black male, nothing more specific. The third complaint came from an Arab business owner. Morrison questioned him for 20 minutes outside his own store. No reason given. Every single complaint was dismissed. No discipline, no retraining, nothing. So when Morrison got the anonymous tip that day, he did not think twice. The caller said there was a suspicious black woman working at Hayes Pharmacy. Maybe identity theft, the caller said. That was it. No details, no evidence, just someone's suspicion about a black woman. Morrison drove to the pharmacy in 8 minutes. He did not verify the tip. He did not check if the pharmacy had any complaints. He did not call the manager. He just showed up and started demanding papers. Let me ask you something. Do you think police should act on anonymous tips without checking if they are true? Drop your answer below. But this time, Morrison picked the wrong person to profile, and he was about to pay for. It was Wednesday, March 15th. The time was 2:47 in the afternoon. Hayes Pharmacy sat in a quiet part of North Phoenix. It was a family-owned business. The community had trusted it for 22 years. Inside the pharmacy that day were 4 staff members. Dr. Mitchell was behind the counter. Maria Santos and Jerome Williams were the pharmacy technicians. A young woman worked the cash register up front. 6 customers were in the store. 3 of them were waiting for their prescriptions. An elderly man sat in a chair near the counter. Dr. Mitchell had just finished explaining his new medication to him. It was a normal day, busy but calm. Dr. Mitchell was doing what she always did, taking care of people. Then Officer Morrison walked through the front door. He did not browse, he did not ask for help. He walked straight to the pharmacy counter. His hand rested on his belt near his weapon. Dr. Mitchell looked up from her work. She saw the uniform, she saw the badge. She had no idea why he was there. "Ma'am, I need to see some identification," Morrison said. 8 security cameras were recording. His body camera was on. Multiple customers had phones in their pockets. If stories about civil TS matter to you, hit that subscribe button right now. What happened next shocked everyone. The confrontation lasted 17 minutes. Every second was recorded. "I need to see your ID and proof you're allowed to be here," Morrison said. "I'm the pharmacist on duty," Dr. Mitchell replied calmly. "Can you tell me what this is about?" "Anonymous tip, someone matching your description. Now show me your papers." Dr. Mitchell took a breath. "Officer, I haven't committed any crime. You need reasonable suspicion to demand identification." Morrison stepped closer. "Are you refusing to cooperate?" "I'm asking why you're here. I have rights." "I'm asking the questions. Show me your ID." "No." The word hung in the air. Morrison's face changed. He was not used to hearing no. "I can arrest you for obstruction," he said. "Asking questions is not obstruction," Dr. Mitchell replied. "I know the law." Maria Santos stepped forward. "Officer, she's the lead pharmacist. She's worked here for years." Morrison ignored her. "Ma'am, last chance, ID now." "I'd like to speak to your supervisor," Dr. Mitchell said. "You're speaking to me, and I'm done asking." He reached for his handcuffs. The elderly customer stood up from his chair. "What are you doing?" "She's my pharmacist. 10 years she's helped me." Another customer, a nurse named Linda Parks, spoke up. "This is racial profiling. I'm a witness." Jerome Williams pulled out his phone. He started recording. Morrison grabbed Dr. Mitchell's arm. He forced her around the counter. He pushed her against the wall. "You're under arrest," he said. "For what?" she asked. He did not answer. He just put the cuffs on. "Wait until you hear what happened next, because it gets worse before it gets better." Dr. Mitchell stood in handcuffs behind her own pharmacy counter, the counter where she had helped thousands of patients, the counter where she had saved lives by catching dangerous drug interactions. Now she was being treated like a criminal. But Morrison was not done. He walked around the counter and headed toward the restricted pharmacy area. This area is protected by federal law. Only licensed pharmacists can enter. Police need a warrant to search it. Morrison did not have a warrant. He went in anyway. He searched through cabinets. He opened drawers. He found Dr. Mitchell's purse and dumped it on the counter. That is when he found her wallet. Inside was her Texas driver's license, her Arizona pharmacy license, her doctorate degree certification, her employee ID badge with her photo and title. Morrison stared at the documents. He had made a terrible mistake. The evidence was right in front of him. But here is the unbelievable part. He continued the arrest anyway. He called for backup. 2 more officers arrived within 10 minutes. The backup officers looked at the documents. They looked at Dr. Mitchell in handcuffs. They looked at the customers recording on their phones. You could see the concern on their faces. "Blake, are you sure about this?" one of them asked. Morrison did not back down. She refused to comply. "Take her in." James Crawford, a 67-year-old retired teacher, stepped forward. "I've known this woman for 8 years. She fills my prescriptions. She calls to check on me. What are you doing?" Robert Chen, a business owner, held up his phone. "I have all of this on video, all of it." Dr. Mitchell stayed calm through it all. She did not yell. She did not resist. She knew the cameras were her witnesses. They put her in the police car. They drove her to the precinct. She sat in a holding cell for 4 hours. Then something important happened. The district attorney reviewed the case. He watched the videos. He saw the evidence. He refused to file any charges. Dr. Mitchell walked out of that precinct a free woman. Within 2 hours, she had contacted a civil rights attorney named Marcus Thompson. She was not going to let this go. Not this time. Type justice in the comments if you think she made the right choice. Marcus Thompson had been a civil rights lawyer for 20 years. He had seen a lot of cases, but when he watched the footage from Hayes Pharmacy, he knew this was different. "This is one of the clearest cases of racial profiling I have ever seen," he said. He filed a lawsuit in federal court, 6 separate claims against the city of Phoenix, the Phoenix Police Department, and Officer Blake Morrison personally. The first 3 claims were Fourth Amendment violations. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. Morrison violated it 3 times. He detained Dr. Mitchell without cause, he arrested her without cause, and he searched the pharmacy without a warrant. The fourth claim was a 14th Amendment violation. This amendment guarantees equal protection under the law. Morrison treated Dr. Mitchell differently because of her race. The fifth claim was false imprisonment. He held her against her will without legal reason. The sixth claim was retaliation under color of L. Or he arrested her because she refused his unlawful order. That is illegal. Thompson asked for $20 million in damages. The city tried to get the case dismissed. The judge said no, the case would go to trial. Then came the discovery phase. This is when both sides share evidence. What they found was shocking. Morrison had those 4 previous complaints, but there was more. Internal emails showed that department leaders knew about the pattern. They did nothing. Training records showed that officers received almost no bias training, just 2 hours per year, far below the national standard. The city offered to settle out of court. They offered $3 million. Dr. Mitchell said no. "I don't want their money to make this go away," she told reporters. "I want a trial. I want the truth on the record." If you believe in accountability, hit subscribe. The trial was about to expose everything. The trial began in federal court in Phoenix. It lasted 9 days. 8 people sat on the jury. They came from different backgrounds, different races, different jobs. They were about to see something they would never forget. The prosecution played the videos first. All 8 pharmacy cameras, Morrison's body camera, the phone recordings from witnesses. The jury watched in silence. They saw Morrison demand papers. They saw Dr. Mitchell stay calm. They saw him arrest her anyway. They saw him search the pharmacy without a warrant. They saw him find her credentials and continue the arrest. When the videos ended, several jurors were shaking their heads. Dr. Mitchell took the stand. She spoke for 3 hours. She was calm, detailed, and professional, just like she had been that day. "I knew my rights," she said. "I knew what he was doing was illegal. I stayed calm because I knew the cameras would tell the truth." Then Morrison took the stand. His story fell apart piece by piece. He claimed Dr. Mitchell was acting suspicious. The video showed her counseling an elderly patient. He claimed she was aggressive. The video showed her speaking calmly. He claimed the anonymous tip was credible, but he admitted he never investigated it at all. The jury heard about his 4 previous complaints. They heard about the department ignoring the pattern. They heard from experts who said this was textbook racial profiling. After 9 days, both sides gave closing arguments. The jury left to decide. 6 hours later, they came back. Guilty on all 6 counts. But wait, the damages were still coming, and nobody was ready for the number. The courtroom went silent as the jury foreman stood up. "We, the jury, find in favor of the plaintiff, Dr. Vanessa Mitchell, on all counts." Then came the damages. For emotional distress, lost wages, and damage to her reputation, $2.4 million. Against Officer Morrison personally for his actions, $1.5 million. He would have to pay this from his own pocket. Against the city of Phoenix for failing to train officers and ignoring the pattern of complaints, $12 million. Total damages, $15.9 million. Gasps filled the courtroom. Some people started crying. Someone began to clap before the judge silenced them. Dr. Mitchell closed her eyes. She took a deep breath. She nodded slowly. 15 years of service, 4 hours in a jail cell, and now the largest civil rights verdict in Arizona history. Officer Morrison went pale. He left the courtroom without saying a word to anyone. The consequences came fast. Within 48 hours, Morrison was fired from the Phoenix Police Department, but it did not stop there. The state decertified him as a police officer. That means he can never work in law enforcement in Arizona again. He filed for personal bankruptcy to try to avoid paying the $1.5 million he owed. The department faced its own consequences. The city ordered mandatory bias training for all 3,000 officers. New policies required verification of anonymous tips before any confrontation. A civilian oversight board was created to review complaints. The chief of police gave a public apology. "We failed Dr. Mitchell," he said. "We failed our community. We will do better." The case made national news. Major networks covered the story. Legal experts called it a landmark verdict. Within a year, 3 other civil rights lawsuits cited this case as evidence. 1 officer, 1 demand, 1 refusal, $15.9 million in consequences. Share this video if you think everyone should know this story. The day after the verdict, Dr. Mitchell stood outside the courthouse. Cameras surrounded her. Reporters pushed microphones toward her face. She spoke clearly and calmly, just like she had that day in the pharmacy. "I was doing my job," she said, "serving my community, helping patients, that's all I was doing." She paused. "He walked in and saw my skin color. He decided I didn't belong. He decided I was suspicious. He decided I had to prove I was allowed to exist in my own workplace." A reporter asked how she stayed so calm during the hours. "Staying calm was the hardest thing I've ever done," she admitted. "I wanted to scream, I wanted to cry, but I knew the cameras were watching. I knew the truth would come out if I just stayed calm." She had a message for others facing similar situations. Know your Fourth Amendment rights. Police cannot demand your ID without reasonable suspicion of a crime. Stay calm, stay professional, document everything, get witnesses if you can. Then she spoke directly to police departments across the country. Train your officers, hold them accountable. The badge is not a license to discriminate. The badge is a responsibility to protect everyone. Her voice broke slightly on the last word. "This verdict is not about money," she said. "It's about dignity. It's about being seen as a human being, not a suspect, not a threat, a human being." She thanked her attorney, her family, the witnesses who spoke up, the community that supported her. "We won this together," she said, "and we still have work to do." Dr. Mitchell's case was powerful, but it showed a bigger problem. Studies show that Black Americans are 2.5 times more likely to be stopped by police without cause. Anonymous tips are often used to justify this profiling. Phoenix changed its policies after this verdict. Now officers must verify tips before confronting anyone, but most departments in America have no such rule. One verdict cannot fix systemic racism. Dr. Mitchell won her case. Millions of others never get that chance. They are stopped, questioned, arrested, and released. No cameras, no lawyers, no justice. The fight continues. So let me ask you, do we accept that skin color makes someone suspicious? Do we let anonymous tips justify discrimination? Do we demand accountability when officers break the law? Because if we do not demand change, if we do not hold departments accountable, if we do not teach people their rights, then we are just waiting for the next Officer Morrison, the next Dr. Mitchell, the next unlawful arrest caught on camera, or worse, one that is not caught at all. Comment below if you believe police should have to verify tips before confronting citizens. I want to hear what you think. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button right now. We are going to keep exposing these cases. We are going to keep demanding better. We are going to keep fighting for accountability, for dignity, for justice. This is not just about one pharmacist in Phoenix. This is not just about one officer with a pattern. This is about all of us. This is about whether the Constitution protects everyone equally, or only those who look a certain way. Dr. Mitchell knew her rights. She stood her ground. She won. Now it is our turn to stand up.